afternoon, y'all. This is the one and only here on the YouTube channel here, Heavy Metal 95 here. Once again, we got a brand new album review we're going to be covering for today. So today's album we're going to be reviewing, and this is something that I have remembered listening to this album a while back in 2013 on my old CD player back in the day. So we're going to be doing a review on this album from the Radioactive Chicken Heads with their album Music for Mutants. Yes, that's right. So, for those who don't know the Radioactive Chicken Heads, they were originally known as Joe and the Chicken Heads back in like the 90s. It's before they changed their names to the Radioactive Chicken Heads as well. They have did their first album like Growing Mold on there, which we'll get to in just a moment as well. There's only 15 songs on here. Let's see, there's some songs like the 15 songs on this album from the Radioactive Chicken Heads is Bird Brain, Liquid Fat, Headless Mike, Look Both Ways, I Eat Kids, Deviled Egg, Boris the Spider, Bad Bunny, Pest Control, Cluck You, Mutant, The Mirror, Stitch Me Up, Bag of Bones, and Our Last Song. Those are the only 15 songs that that were on this album as well. Yeah, here's the members of the Radioactive Chicken Heads, by the way, because they're a horror punk rock group. However, the CD art, this is an autographed one, by the way, as well. However, the members on this album here on the Radioactive Chicken Heads was Carrot Top, Sergeant Cyclops, Cherry Tomato, Puke Boy, Bird Brain, Pastafarian, Bonehead, and El Polo Diablo, and Franken Chicken with the tambourine on it. Yeah, those are the members of the Radioactive Chicken Heads, as if anyone who could never know. Yeah, because this is the first time I get to cover my very first album review to cover an album from the Radioactive Chicken Heads. However, there's some songs that have like these influenced songs, like have these heavy metal influenced Sam Hain or Danzig. Like take for example, Bad Bunny. There's a music video for this one, along with Bird Brain, another song that also got a music video as well. However, for the song like Bad Bunny, this is basically has this whole influence of Glenn Danzig type doom metal feel, or like heavy metal kind of influenced feel for the song as well. However, Pest Control also had a music video back then when they were, because you know the lyrics saying Pest saying they're gonna kill Chuck E. Cheese in a humorous lyrics on how they had those lyrical themes whenever they did the song Pest Control, for those who haven't been wondering. And there is also the music video Pest Control, because I remember seeing the music video back in 2008 when I was checking it out on YouTube, and I had my first discovery on checking out the Radioactive Chicken Heads, because I just want to come by for this one. However, some of the songs that were originally off of their albums, like Growing Mold, like say for the songs, let's see, Our Last Song, Pest Control, Bag of Bones, Stitch Me Up. Those were the only songs that came off of their first album, Growing Mold, which is the first album from the Radioactive Chicken Heads. Even though this album, Music for Mutants, was released in on May 22nd, 2008. And I just wanted to come by on these albums released in 2008 as well. Although the Radioactive Chicken Heads had performed live on TV appearances, Like, they performed our last song on the Tyra Banks show, in like the mid 2000s. I just wanted to giving you for the way of how I wanted to come by to check out a band like this as well. However, back in the 90s, when the Radioactive Chicken Heads were called Joe and the Chicken Heads, they performed the song Pest Control on a public TV appearance on Extreme Gong Show back in 1998. During the late 90s and the early 2000s, before they changed their names to the Radioactive Chicken Heads in 2004, I just wanted to come by for the whole thing, to how I wanted to come by for this as well. I never knew they could make this dope of a second album that Radioactive Chicken Heads did. And it's that most of those bands like this I wanted to come by and check out these bands, like, put out an album that has 15 songs. So with comparing to other horror punk bands, or any other rock band in general, it seems to act to know whatever I wanted to come by for this one. So, they're like a primarily mix between ska punk and punk rock and heavy metal. And comedy punk music as well. And some horror punk as well. I just wanted to come for the fact of how I've been wanting to know for this. Yep. Yeah. This is the whole primarily thing for the whole how they perform with these live shows, in a more similar characteristics between the Aquabats and Guar. For when Radioactive Chicken Heads performed Pest Control live at those on their concert events as well throughout the years, because I just wanted to coming for the fact, as far as if I can now remember, yeah, they did have a music video for, as if I can now not mistaken, nobody knows that this album had only like 15 songs on there, because they have so by this time for that as well. Yeah, they had music videos. Yeah, most of the songs right off of the Music for Mutants album, most of them had music videos. Like Headless Mike, I Eat Kids, Bad Bunny, I Looked Into the Mirror, and Pest Control. Those are the only, I believe, probably, those are the only 5 songs right off of their album. They had music videos on there, because I didn't know they could make that dope of a music video featuring cameo appearances. Like in the music video Pest Control, this featured Bill Manspeaker of the band called Green Jelly, which I've heard of that band green jelly before, and many other appearances. If you haven't seen the music video "Pest Control" from by the band the Radioactive Chicken Heads, there's a music video if you want to go check out at your leisure. So that's how I wanted to come by to check out a band like the Radioactive Chicken Heads, because I just wanted to have the whole countable thing. However, this album was recorded back in like 2007. It's before they released this album in 2008 in the public. When it comes to how there's a lot of few things to check things out for the way of that. And yes, yeah, they did do a music video for Pest Control, because I just wanted to giving you for the fact for how I wanted to review an album for a day like the Radioactive Chicken Heads, because especially when it comes to talking about their second album, Music for Mutants, and is that the biggest thing is like you carried something to the way. There's a lot of things for this, because I just wanted to say, when I first listened to this album back in 2013, I just felt like this took me to another level, as it's going from nowhere. And I just wanted to come by for this as well, because I know 5 of these songs from this album had a music video between the late 2000s, early 2010s. Yeah, Headless Mike had a music video also, which is right off of this album, because I just wanted to giving you from whatever I wanted to come by on checking out a band like the Radioactive Chicken Heads as a real thing for this, because I just wanted to come by to check out these bands like that. That's from what I say about as well. Yep. Because there's a lot of things when it comes to talking about an album like Music for Mutants by the band Radioactive Chicken Heads, and the biggest thing is that it's like it didn't rub something in the wrong way, but I just wanted to giving you for the way of how my curiosity for about this album had some of the songs had these music videos on there, because yeah, it's basically just to giving you for the way of how if you want to watch their music videos by the Radioactive Chicken Heads, you can just go to YouTube and watch their music videos as well. But overall, this is a great album in my opinion. The songs are good. The guitars are well done. There's some tambourines and all that, and the keyboards on there. The drumming is very good. The vocals are done, because that's why I want to come by as how I consider this album to be my favorite Radioactive Chicken Heads album in my opinion. 10 out of 10 for this album. So that's going to be it for my review for today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, especially if you're new to the channel. Smack the like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit the notifications bell button for more surprises if you miss anything new. Leave a comment in the comment section below if you like as well. Be sure to sub to the channel. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, especially if you're new to the channel, especially if you're wondering. And this is going to be it. This is Heavy Metal 95 signing off. Thank you for watching my video. I'm glad you liked it. Hope you enjoy it. Hope to see you soon for the next video. Be sure to stay safe and stay healthy. Hope you all have a great day. Take care. Goodbye for now.